All right, security in Nigeria has been a factor that has destabilized a lot of things in the country, ranging from political to socio-political and even sometimes cultural. I used to say that in any nation where meaningful development must be achieved, security is really important. And that's why today on Public Square, we will be discussing issues surrounding the security apparatus of Nigeria. And of course, recent killings across the country. For instance, days ago, we heard about killings in southern Kaduna, which of course is not new. It has been on for a while. But the surge is what continues to baffle Nigerians, regardless of what region this is happening. We'll be talking about some of these issues this morning. And of course, the recent launch of the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun in Ondo State, and what it tends to portend for the general outlook of security in the state. Good morning. My name is Olabisi, Olaniyi, Oluwasegun. And in the studios this morning, I have High Chief Adetunji Adeleye, who is the co-commander of Ondo State Security Network Agency, Amotekun in Ondo State. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much.
I also have Mr. Theo Adebowale, who is a political analyst and a university don. Thank you for coming, Mr. Theo Adebowale.
It's my pleasure.
All right, quickly, we get down to some of the issues right away. About 2-3 days ago, there was a video that went viral on the social media space where we had a former presidential candidate, Obadiah Melafia, bringing out a number of revelations that could really cause some sort of tension across the country. Just yesterday, he was invited by the DSS to explain what he meant by some of those things he revealed in the video. But before we go ahead, so we could have a proper perspective to some of the discussions we'll lay bare on the table this morning, I would want us to listen to what Obadiah said in that viral video before we go ahead.
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence network. Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. 1 or 2 who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They are already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They are everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
All right, that was the revelation by Obadiah Melafia. We need not to overflow some of the things he already said. Of course, you've heard him. All right, let's start from where he said that the Nigerian government is backing insurgency in the country. It's not the first of such revelation since the start of insurgency in Nigeria, but this is another one that has caused some sort of tension, like I said, in the polity. Mr. Adetunji, do you really believe that insecurity in Nigeria is becoming so difficult to defeat or to nip in the bud because the government is also backing the system?
I believe very strongly that governments at different levels make contribution to making the state insecure. And it starts with the politicians. Politicians equip ruffians, equip men who have no means of livelihood to unleash violence on opponents or people they suspect not to be on their side, particularly during electioneering. After electioneering, they are unable to recoup those equipment they have provided for them. Then when they get to power, they make policies, economic policies that impoverish the people and stimulate criminal tendencies in those who have tendencies for crime. And again, they also have a way of protecting or absolving some of the people who are suspected, to have participated in criminal activities, in violence, in unleashing violence on other people. So I believe very strongly that if we have to locate the source of violence, the first place to look into is the station of Nigerian politicians.
Okay, that said, let's quickly go to the basis of this whole problem in the first place. In 2015, towards the expiration of the Goodluck Jonathan administration, we had a lot of killings across Nigeria, bombing here and there, and this was attributed to the influence of a particular religious sect called Boko Haram insurgents who were believed, tipped to be the ones. Of course, they even came out on several occasions to admit to that. And up till today, we still have some of these things happening, even though the government insists that it has decimated the Boko Haram insurgents to a very large extent. But we still have skirmishes of violence across the country. Now, let me turn to the security person in the house. And of course, you're officially now in charge of security, in charge of Amotekun in Ondo State. Do you believe that insurgency in Nigeria as a whole has been laid to rest? Or you think, because right now we do not have much of Boko Haram insurgents now, we hear violent killings being perpetrated by bandits, especially in the north. Do you believe that Boko Haram is still quite in operation, or it's just another phase of insurgency or terrorism, so to speak, that we're experiencing in the country?
Thank you very much. Well, the Boko Haram saga is still on, but at a very, very low ebb. The level of violent killings are drastically reduced since the advent of this administration. And before now, several local governments were taken over by Boko Haram, but the security apparatus in Nigeria has been able to substantially put that at abeyance. So by and large, I think the security network in Nigeria is gradually winning the war of Boko Haram, even though we now have banditry and so many other security schemes here and there, which are pockets. And this happens globally. It's not restricted to Nigeria. So I think Boko Haram is gradually fizzling out.
It's gradually fizzling out. Mr. Adewale, do you believe that Boko Haram is fizzling out? Recently, we have a number of our military men who were killed in battlefronts while trying to defeat Boko Haram insurgents, so to speak, and yet you believe that it's fizzling out.
Yes, I didn't say there is no Boko Haram again. It's a comparison now.
From 2 years ago,
1 year ago, and today. It's an ongoing issue. So what I am trying to say is, comparatively, as against when there was a time when Boko Haram took over 9 local governments in Nigeria. But today, I think they are restricted to only 1 local government, and you see them striking and running away. At a point, it was the Nigerian army that was running away, but today now, you see them coming to strike and run away. The one you talked about was an ambush. It could have happened any other place.
Okay, Mr. Adewale, what's your thoughts about that?
I believe that those of them who have security as a profession or their background have a way of defending the indefensible. If anything, I think insurgency is taking a new turn on the high. And my mind goes straight to southern Kaduna and Borno State.
No, southern Kaduna is not Boko Haram.
Well,
let's clarify
what
that.
What we have seen is that there is no strict dichotomy between Boko Haram
and bandits
and Fulani headsmen. Mm-hmm. As at this morning, I have information that it is a whole network. In fact, an American organization posted some information that ISWAB is into Nigeria and has even made an incursion into southern Nigeria. So if you want to dichotomize Boko Haram, banditry, insurgency, militancy, you are not getting it right at all.
Okay,
what we know is that
Mr. Adewale, before you go ahead,
yes.
Your statement is only making an allusion to what Obadiah earlier said, where he said that the Boko Haram has a very sophisticated network.
Yes.
It goes ahead to say in that video that be you bandits, be you Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, all of them belong to the same.
They are the same. They are
group.
Yes, they are the same group. It is a diversification. It is like not wanting to use one mode of operation. So if anybody is talking about Boko Haram, talking about militants, talking about insurgency, to us who are consumers of security, what should matter is security, and whatever poses a threat to security should be our concern. So if they said it was Boko Haram and you wanted to pin the politicians to it, there is a way they will want to evade it. And those of them in the security, various security organizations, they will want to prove that there is efficiency in what they are doing. Why we cannot, those of us who are consumers of security, why we cannot allow their specialism, in classification, is that we know that insecurity,
whatever threatens our existence,
yes,
is insecurity.
It's insecurity.
Exactly.
And it is heightening in Nigeria.
Okay, how do we handle this claim by Obadiah? He's not the first person who would say that. In 2011, I remember, and 15 rather, I remember that somebody came out as well. A lot of them, repentant Boko Haram members, came out to say that certain groups in the northern Emirates are part of this particular insurgency. They are the ones sponsoring. Sometimes even IBB was tipped as one of the sponsors, although he came out to say that it wasn't part of it. And now Obadiah is coming out again recently to say that a sitting northern governor
yes,
is one of the major sponsors of insurgency. Call it whatever you want to call it. How do we handle that as Nigerians? Do you think...
The truth about the situation is that the security situation in the country is not good. That you cannot dispute. And if you look at the law setting up Amotekun in Ondo State, I had said this the uptime time, that Amotekun as a baby is a fallout of people coming together to say, look, what do we do to ensure that a replica of what happens up there does not start here? So how do we assist the existing security architecture to ensure that the areas, loopholes, like he had rightly said, incursion of different banditry groups, does not have a field day in Ondo State. So I am not disputing the fact that insecurity generally is on the very, very low ebb. But for us in Ondo State, I can say that we've been lucky enough to have the kind of a leader who believes in the well-being of the citizenry. Hence the drive to start the state security outfit, codenamed Amotekun.
Okay, Mr. Afiwa, before we come to the modus operandi of Amotekun in Ondo State, I'm sure that Ondo people really want to hear about that. But first, a lot of let's call it speculations now, in the public space, that some of these bandits are members of different sects who metamorphosed from probably political brigandage or thugs that were used at some point and dropped along the line, who were brought together again for the purpose of terrorizing the community for political gains. Do you really believe that this could be happening? Can the Nigerian government be doing those perpetrating those sort of violence at the expense of the Nigerian society?
One thing that is certain is that the heart of a man is desperately wicked, and no one can know it. And if you look at Nigerian politicians, you will know that they treat the rest of us with contempt. Whenever they are talking about security, they are talking about their own security. Until it threatens them, it is no threat to security. We must get that right. So these politicians, I cannot trust them, because we know their antecedents. We know that they treat the people with contempt, and it is only that which will help them.
Killing fellow Nigerians for political gains?
They do it, and it doesn't cost them anything. They do it ritually. They do it violently. They do it physically all over the place. But I appreciate what he has said about the present government that is putting up Amotekun. I hope that that government will enable Amotekun to do as much as possible. But beyond that, you would realize that even what you call Boko Haram, if you go into its history, it was started by a sitting governor. A governor who wanted to have an edge over his opponents, put up a rat rag organization, to unleash violence. But after some time, he had gained power. He could not accommodate them sufficiently, and they had to go viral. Okay? And since that time, you have been seeing how even the federal government has been treating issues, making policies relating to Boko Haram. People who have unleashed violence or who are unleashing violence on the people, some of them were rounded up, and the next thing is that you told us that some of them have repented. You are reintegrating them into society. You are putting them into the army. while the people they have upstaged,
The victims.
yes, they are getting ravished. They are getting more and more impoverished in the different displaced persons camps. So you will see, you will need to look at it wholesale to know the heart of a Nigerian politician, to appreciate that it is desperately wicked and we cannot know it.
Okay, talking about how government has been handling the issue of insurgency, Mr. Adeleye, do you think that the Nigerian government has done well enough to say that it is really serious? Remember that in 2016, in the beginning, at the advent of this administration, Buhari, the President Muhammadu Buhari, made security one of his focal points of this administration.
Yes.
Now, and recently, Nigerians were really clamoring for it that army chiefs should be sacked and new ones injected so we could have fresh blood in the system. But seems nothing of such is happening. Would you say that the government is really serious about fighting insurgency to a standstill?
Well, I think the government is really, really serious. In the first place, we are all Nigerians. And our take as a security officer is to ensure that lives and properties are safe. And if you look at the volume of investments in terms of personnel, cash, and so on, that over the years have been expended on this Boko Haram or insurgency generally, you know, is enormous. So I think the government is striving, but the fight against all this insurgency really starts.
The figure has been quoted in the media that reports we hear about how much has been spent on insecurity is enormous, like you rightly said.
Yes, very
is there
enormous.
anything to show for it?
That's what, when I was talking initially, I told you that at a point in time in the life of the Northeast, that more than 13 local governments were completely taken over. The implication of that is that they no longer respect Nigerian laws in that place. But if today it has reduced to 1 or 2, I think you would understand how they got there. It's not as if I'm saying that it's a perfect setting, but the journey to 1,000 miles starts with a mile. And I agree that the heart of a man is desperately wicked. But then, out of the bad situation, we must still start. And in starting, the initiative of the Southwest governors to put in place this kind of security outfit will no doubt stamp it down, because we are protecting ourselves and we know ourselves. So if we see a stranger and we know something that is absurd is happening, we know the implication, we know what had happened up there, and we don't want a repeat of it here. As a patriotic citizen, you raise alarm. There is a way you do it in such a way that nobody can cover it again. And that's what these governors are saying, that let our destiny be in our hands.
Okay, talking about the regional security outfits, Amotekun, the much glorified, talked about Amotekun is finally here in Ondo State. You came in the other time and I was going to commend and to appreciate your regalia. It looks really scary. And I saw some of the branded vehicles out there. There's a vans that will be used by the Amotekun Corps. They are also looking really scary, like the real Amotekun that we know usually. But should Ondo residents expect that much of a scare from the group as a whole for criminals hiding and any form of criminality in Ondo State?
Our creed is zero tolerance to crime. And law-abiding citizens of the state have nothing at all to fear. But there is no hidden place for criminals again in Ondo State. We are equipped and ready at every point in time, 24/7, to act. But you see, that much that we can do, we still rely on credible information from the citizenry, from the populace. That's why I say that security is our collective responsibility. You play your role, I play my role.
most of these crimes, especially when it has to do with terrorism, most of these crimes, killings, kidnapping, and all of that, are being perpetrated in the forests. They take their victims from town and then they go hide them somewhere, wherever in the forests. Is Amotekun extending its operation into these forests, or you're just going to be operating in town just like the conventional security operatives do?
You will agree with me that Amotekun as an animal doesn't stay on Obadeshida Road.
Okay.
It stays in the forest.
Except on very, very rare occasions.
Something must have happened before you see an Amotekun as an animal strolling the streets. So this is to say that we are really operating right from the crannies, the bushes, the villages. And if you look at our style of recruitment, we have various types of officers recruited into Amotekun. We have hunters, we have farmers. Most of these farmers and hunters, we are not taking them away from their natural abode. All we need them to do is to give us credible information. And in setting up the core, I say we have been adequately equipped with communication equipment that cuts across the state entirely, regardless of hills or water or mountain. So it's gradually going to be a thing of the past for anybody to kidnap and you go and hide in one forest reserve. We'll just pick you there.
But you sounded, the way you said it made it sound really easy. We just pick you there.
Yeah.
Remember that we've had issues with just picking criminals there. Sorry to mention the agencies now, the police, Nigerian police force has done it for a while, and it has not still made any headway in curbing criminality in Ondo State.
Yes.
What do you intend to do? What is your program so that you to enable you just pick criminals?
That's what I've told you. In the first place, it's this gap in the existing security agencies that we are going to give. You know, a criminal. Look at how many policemen do we have in Ondo State?
Okay.
Then look at the population to the police. Apart from that, you are bringing somebody from the north and the far east to come and operate in Ishua. In Igbokoda, there is language barrier, there is terrain barrier. They probably are not gotten there before. So if the criminal hides in a cranny there, what does it do? Nothing. But with Amotekun, because for every village, however small, we have an operative at different levels. So these are the people that will give the remaining security agencies credible information to strike. And that is why I'm saying that we'll just pick them.
Okay. Mr. Adebowale, the much talked about regional security network is being launched in various southwest states now, and one begins to wonder if this would really help to curb the incidences of violence, of insecurity, insurgency across the country, especially in the southwest, that they would be majorly operational rather.
Yeah, we hope so, but I know that their activities are limited by the nature of the so-called Nigerian federalism. It will have been a different story if we actually have a federal constitution in place. 2 days ago, somebody just called my attention that Amotekun people were moving towards Obaile, and they eventually went to fingerprint. He said what baffled him was that there was a policeman, accompanying them.
Securing them, so to say.
Accompanying them.
What's the place of a police officer? Okay, just so you work together.
Yes, synergy. That's what you're saying.
Okay.
That we are supposed to work. You see, Amotekun is a complementary force So we are supposed to work with the army, the state security service, the police, the navy, all. And there will be joint operations.
Are you sure, Mr. Adeleye, are you assuring the residents of Ondo State that there won't be any sort of influence being exerted on the operations of Amotekun?
None at all. It's not possible.
Yeah,
Amotekun has a culture.
Let me continue with my submission.
Amotekun has a culture, and they have to keep to Amotekun culture.
Which is?
Transparency, honesty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you see civil defense people moving about, do you see the police or a soldier accompanying them?
You see joint patrol.
No, do you see them accompanying them?
No, that's
supervising them. That's number one. Number two,
it's a joint patrol.
Number two,
if you look at the Ondo State Joint Patrol, all the security agencies go out together.
Number two,
maybe you've not taken note of that.
Number two, I've taken note of what you are saying.
Okay.
But number two is that you can arrest.
Yes.
When you arrest,
yes,
you take the arrested,
yes,
to police custody. Isn't it so?
Depending
you hand the one arrested to the police. That's what you do.
Depending on the nature of the crime. Okay. If it is a drug-related one, we'll go to NDLEA.
Okay.
If it is agro, we'll go to civil defense.
Okay, depending on the crime. I'm sure that the ones who are the center of this whole thing are the residents, and probably should just allow them to talk about the eventual launch of Amotekun in those states and what they think about the operations. They could have questions for you as well. So we'll be opening the port now for a few minutes, for just 5 minutes. 0816-251-9991, 0816-251-9991.
So my submission is that if we had a proper federal arrangement, the functions and functioning of Amotekun will be better enhanced, and their effectiveness will be easily felt. But the nature of a federation that operates like a unitary system will definitely limit the performance. Of
hello.
That's what.
All right, we have someone on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Julius from Ogbese.
Julius from Ogbese. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say? Any question?
Yes. The operation of Amotekun is a very welcome idea. But the point is that will they be given up free hand to operate? Those people, they will be influenced with the government, and even most of the times maybe by the police, because they are still working under the police. So that's just my take on it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Julius.
Thank you very much. The Amotekun is not working under the police. It's a collaborative sort of actions. There is an existing security architecture, and the advent of Amotekun is actually to fill in those gaps. And luckily for us in Ondo State, for instance, we don't have any form of undue influence from any organization, body, or government. Amotekun is a security outfit for Ondo State citizenry generally, regardless of your political parties, religious affiliate, or anything. And so far,
how then do we deal with this common saying that he who pays the piper dictates the tune?
The overall source of our funding, for instance, is what comes from Ondo State. It's not from a particular political party.
No, not from the government.
That's what from Ondo State government.
Okay.
For Ondo State people, not for a political party. There's a difference.
All right.
And so far, there is no form of difference at all.
All right. Good morning.
This is Alpha Banks from Ebotako.
Please go ahead.
The fear and the panic which people are having right now is for this Amotekun not to become a political tool. Nobody's rest, I'm telling you. We believe in this kind of groups. to restore the sanity back to the southwest. But to become the political tools to the opposition is something we have to deal with. And let's buttress based on that perspective. Thank you. God bless you.
Okay, you just raised another concern.
Yeah, thank you very much. So far, I stand boldly to say that apart from the statutory responsibilities of security agencies, you don't find an Amotekun operative supporting any political party. It's not possible. You won't find it.
So is that one of your principles?
One of the basic principles upon which Amotekun in the southwest solidly rests.
Okay, let's take one more call before we round things up. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
What's your name, please?
God bless you. This is Mr. Dixon from Odeaye.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, let's have you.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question. This network security we are talking about, the issue of Amotekun. We think that Amotekun can face, do they have resistance to face Boko Haram? I am not sure of that. So I want you to liberate me much of that issues. Because the Amotekun is just started for a few days ago.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you very much. Our personnel are trained to tackle and surmount even more desperate groups than Boko Harams. Events that are coming by the grace of God will let you see what we mean. But we are prepared and ready.
Okay, it's easier said than done sometimes. Do we have enough equipment, enough sophisticated, arms and ammunition in the Corps to help you achieve this feat?
Don't forget that I told you initially that Amotekun as a corps is a grassroots security outfit. And if you look at our style of recruitment, we went grassroots to the traditional rulers, to different categories of people. So the training we have is sufficient. For now, we are comfortable. The law setting up Amotekun permits that we bear non-prohibitive ammunitions. But far, far beyond that, I know that we are sufficiently equipped to tackle. That's why I say time will tell.
All right. Okay, I think that will be it this morning regarding Amotekun. But before we go quickly, Mr. Adewale, how do you think government, moving forward now, how do you think government could better position the country's security apparatus so that we do not have wanton killings of Nigerians?
Essentially, I think we must sensitize the federal government that the constitutional arrangement now does not favor the security of the people. The constitution must be made federal so that the three arms of government can effectively participate in security matters. Again, I also want the people to support Amotekun and ensure that they facilitate information, give necessary support so that Amotekun can boom our security.
Okay, it's safe to say now that the new sheriff is in town, and I'd like the co-commander to leave a message, drop a message for Ondo people before we go on the program.
Thank you very much. My first charge is for us to remember that security is a collective responsibility of every citizenry, and we request for credible informations. We have phone lines on, and we assure you of confidentiality of such informations.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for coming. High Chief Adetunji Adeleye, DG Amotekun Security Network in those states, and Mr. Adewale, a political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us in the discussion today. We'll be back next week, Thursday, God willing.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Olabisi, Olaniyi, Oluwasegun. Good morning.
Thank you.